We're going live. No intro video. We just show up.
Yeah, and people get surprised.
They're like, hey,
Hey, you scared me.
what are you guys doing there?
Mhm.
We's just here talking comics. And I was to my comic shop one day late this week. Because Tuesday night, got an email from Roy, who runs the comic shop. Lunar did not, when he was supposed to get the books from Lunar, he didn't get them.
Ah,
So we had to call him up, and they're like, "Oh, there must have been a problem with something, something, something." So the books that Lunar distributes, which I think are DC and Image and a bunch of other stuff, weren't in on Wednesday. And he's like, "Oh, you can come and get your Marvels or whatever. Otherwise," and they're usually not open on Thursdays because they're a hole in the wall comic shop. And they're like, "Yeah, my son will man his recent college graduate son manned the shop on Thursday for anyone who wanted to get their books." And since I had like 7 Image comics and 1 Boom comic, I was like, I'll wait till Thursday. So my comics were a week late. Now that these assholes are here, yeah, we're ready to go. Tit Goblin. And greetings, Captain Finity, the time travel police.
straight from 5 minutes in the future.
Dun dun dun, from the future.
The future, Conan? Yes, Andy, the future, all the way to the year 2000.
Well, we're gonna, since you mentioned chains,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my issue of Spawn last week, but I didn't notice this until after the show. I want to show you this cover here, which has chains on it, but let's go solo. If you notice, the chains are round and not rectangles.
Right.
And I'm nearly 100% certain that those chains are a Photoshop brush.
Mm-hmm.
Because
You
I've
can't
seen
actually
this.
see any links.
What was that?
You can't actually see any links.
Right. And so, and I've seen some of my students occasionally will use it. So that's why I know there's Photoshop brushes that do chains exactly like that. But of course, they're the graphic design way because they have to be flat. You can't, draw chains coming in and out of perspective with that brush. But you can, go in and out. So these, round chains right here are 100% a Photoshop brush. So I found that interesting. Like I said, I didn't notice it last week, but in looking at it again, I was like, hey, those chains are round, and they don't even have I think so. I think you could do it though. Whoops. They don't even have like any lines for links.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just an H punched out of a oval with a little white connecting them. But that is 100% a Photoshop brush, no doubt. I don't think any of those were. That's the first time I've seen a Photoshop brush used for the chains on Spawn. I don't know if they ever have been before. I don't think Brett Booth would do that. That is 100% Photoshop brush. that just amused me.
That looks terrible.
Yeah, doesn't. Tit Coughlin says those chains are god awful. Yeah, chains. I now have an opinion on the AI debate. Ooh, the AI art or the AI writing? Since you're a writer.
I've tried doing some AI writing. Basically, I give Grok the topics, in the order that I want them. I have to instruct Grok to use my phrasing.
Right.
Otherwise, it just comes up with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes me about 45 minutes, and I still end up doing 2/3 of the actual writing. And then it puts out the text in the size that I want, and I still have to go over to turn it into my writing because I don't like the style.
I have to imagine if you actually care, AI writing doesn't save you a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't care, it saves you a ton. Matter of fact, I just saw a little blog this week. I didn't realize that. I think it was Nike. Nike has been using AI art for New York City subway ads. And it was an illustration blog, of course, so they were showing all the terrible bits about it. I was like, ooh. So yeah, they're just AI prompt, girl in sneakers in city, urban, it's just like.
You can't write a prompt like that.
They did. Although, I'm telling you, that's.
Yeah, but you do have to put in some details. The problem is the order in which you write the details for the prompt messes up the image that you want, and then it starts getting confused on the order that the things are supposed. Because I tell you what to write. What to draw. You're a human. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm getting at, all the context. The AI doesn't know, so it doesn't know what's important given the context. It will try to follow the order, but doesn't pay attention to things like, notice that in line 3 you're supposed to do this. It'll just get confused and start putting shoes in the ears or something.
Mm-hmm. It's generally, and like I said, I've written prompts before, but you really never know what you're going to get until it comes back, and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, I got to change that. But it's like, it was just seeing, it wasn't particularly good AI art. Not that it was terrible. But it's not illustration that makes you care about it, because no one has put that much thought into it.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, your boy Zach Richard Meyer, he said that depending on the AI app that you're using, the art is actually very good. It can do a very convincing imitation of Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Then you notice that that Batman has 10 fingers, but that's okay.
Right.
The problem with trying to do a comic book with AI is that the AI must be able to recognize that after you tell it to draw a ripped costume, the next scene the character still has the ripped costume the costume has to be ripped in the same place. And if you have a wound, the wound you need the wound to be only from a certain point up to, and it needs to stay in the same place until the end of the story. And then if you try to do flashbacks, so the AI is not good for that, and not good for that yet.
I've heard they were working on a specific AI for comics. That was a little weird. I don't know how they expect to make money on it. I mean, let's see. What if Captain Finity says, what if I take a cosplay photo the traditional way, but then get AI to animate my photo? Then you have an AI animation of a photo.
Yeah.
I've seen that. People do that all the time.
Yeah.
62 Lefty Blues. Maybe Nike's advertising to the robots. Yeah. After Infinity. Maybe all the ad execs are actually replicants. Could be. But I haven't been to the city to see the actual.
All of their marketing will disappear like tears in the rain.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
So you were doing stuff for David Quinn.
Yes.
Co-creator of Faust with Tim Vigil.
Ah, he's the co-creator. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he's kind of like J.M. DeMatteis with Keith Giffen on the Justice League. So Giffen was coming up with the ideas, and DeMatteis was doing the dialogue. and that's what David Quinn did.
Okay. They're doing some production for him. Getting a comic ready for New York Comic Con. Nice riff, Paolo.
Because he hasn't done much stuff in the last 15 years.
Probably got a regular job, I imagine.
Yeah, I suppose,
as so many comic book people do once they have to make actual money.
Yeah, because he was doing Razor and Lady Death around the same time. And then Vigil kind of stopped doing Faust on a regular basis. Because I noticed that there's an 8-year gap between issues number 13 and 14.
Maybe they're doing Kickstarter stuff. I don't know.
Is that a Faust thing you're doing, or?
No, it's something called Addiction, I think is the name.
Okay.
A preview for the.
When Marvel hired him, I guess it was on the strength of something he did at DC. Because he appeared in one of those anthologies that Piranha Press used to put out.
Ah. Captain Finity. I've seen Gene ad campaigns you people wouldn't believe. I don't know if I can do an imitation of
Roy Batty.
Roy Batty there, yeah.
Roy Batty,
CFO. Goblin, TGIF, bud. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I got about 7 comics this week.
Yeah, good. Cool.
And talk about under the subject of, even though you're reading a comic about Grim Reapers and the afterlife, the things that break your suspension of disbelief can sometimes be funny. I got Grim 24, which it ends next issue. This is the one that's all about the Grim Reapers, and there was a whole bunch of stuff at the beginning. Who's Stephanie Phillips? Flaviano, the one named artist, is doing the interiors. And this one was a sort of very poetic issue about death and dying.
Yeah,
really good issue.
It kind of looks like a scene from Sandman.
Yeah, it does. Now that you mention it, really good issue about death and dying. I don't even know how they're going to wrap. This could all be epilogue. It's almost like it, because like all the conflicts have kind of been wrapped up, and I think they've got the new Death Order. So I'm not sure what the last issue is. There's Wilson. How you doing?
Hey. Oh.
I'm just talking about one of the comics I got this week, Grim, and the weird things that can wreck your suspension of belief. Because this is all about the afterlife and Grim Reapers, and it's a complete fantasy. But the one thing that made me go, "Oh, come on," was the guy there that's dying is this writer. And let me see if I can find the page. And he's in the middle of writing something. Let's see, where is it? And he's in the middle of writing something, and he's all upset that he wants because he wants to finish this writing because that's what they'll remember. And he complains that he complains that he never got to have a family. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have a child. So here I am. I can relate to him. I'm amongst all my creativity. I never got the chance to have a family. So I'm relating to him. And all of a sudden the Grim Reaper goes, "Well, how many bestsellers have you had over the course of your career?" And the guy goes, 42. And I'm like, this is a rich, famous author.
Uh-huh.
You're telling me a rich, famous author with 42 bestsellers missed out? I figure by bestseller number 4, women are knocking at his door looking to have.
Yeah.
Looking to get married and have kids. I'm just like, that's what ruined this. That's what ruined my suspension of disbelief. There we go.
Yeah, or if it's like maybe if he never sold one and he's been struggling all this time and not sell a book.
I understand that.
You know, yeah.
You don't ever get to make the living you wanted to make so that, you don't get to have the wife and child. I can relate to that. But no, he had 42 bestsellers. I'm like, come on. That's what I can't believe. In 24 issues of this book, that's what broke my suspension of disbelief. I was like, come on, 42 bestsellers. He should have had the wife and kids from before he was famous, the wife and kids from after he got famous, and the third set of wife and kids from when that second wife got too old for him. That's what his story
half of the money.
42 bestsellers, and he never had a wife. Come on, he was too busy working.
He should have had at least 3 ex-wives.
Yeah. When you're a rich and famous author, the women will find you. You don't even have to go out and look for them. Because you're famous. but that's what made me go, oh. But otherwise, really good issue, very poignant. An issue that's like there's only one more issue of this left, and I have zero idea how they're going to wrap this up, because it seems almost wrapped up at this point. The last couple issues have almost been epilogue. Good, but I think all the plot points of the story are wrapped up. So I wonder what they're going to do for that last issue. Matter of fact, this issue had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like splash pages of just poetic writing and people who are dying or have to do with the story. And it was well done. That's probably why it looked like Sandman, those poetic pages.
Right.
But that 42 bestsellers, that line made me go, come on. There's no way this guy's whining about missing out on having a wife and child, and he had 42 bestsellers. Having 42 bestsellers gives you all the time in the world for finding a wife.
Yeah, but by the time you get to the 20th bestseller, you're hiring people to ghostwrite for you.
Yeah.
or I think even having written 42 books would still make you somewhat famous.
Yeah.
Maybe, you didn't have to be a bestseller. If you've written 42 books, you're good enough to keep writing books.
Right. You've got a good job.
You've got a good job. That's the thing.
Thing number one of getting a wife and family is having a good job.
You're writing those books. That means you're getting hired each and every time. You're making money.
Yeah.
So I can see how that takes you out. I completely see that. I just got in not too long ago myself, so I haven't even gone through my books.
Looks like you got a pretty big pile there.
I have 2 weeks of books, and then this group of books are actually the what I pulled, the freebies that I pulled. These are the catalogs.
Oh, okay.
These are how thick the catalogs are. I mean, considering there is no, I don't think there's previews anymore.
Right.
They went digital. So we have Marvel's. Marvel's catalog, Wolverine on the I think it's Wolverine. Yeah. Wolverine or Albert on the cover. For those who don't know, Albert is Wolverine's clone-ish robot creature.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wow,
I have no idea what this is. Age of Revelation. So I guess this is something that has to do with Age of Apocalypse.
Right.
So maybe this continues that story or something.
Or Age of X. Remember when they tried to do an Age of Apocalypse stuck in Moira's dreams, and it was called Age of X. That was what, 8 years ago?
If you say so.
Yeah, I have the trade paperback.
Okay,
I read it once.
And you would know more than me. We have.
I got it signed by Mike Carey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Neat. DC Connects.
Yeah, that's the worst name that they could have possibly given to whatever.
The DC Connect?
DCKO. No, DCK. Yeah, no, you will never. I guess it was the same marketing robots from Nike who came up with that storyline's name.
Okay. We also have from.
Why don't you like DCKO? Seems about right to me. Knockout. So I think they're fighting each other. It's supposed to be some sort of free preview. Turtles.
So Turtles. So it's the IDW catalog.
Totally tubular, dude.
I wonder what all the indie books do now that they don't have previews.
And then Dynamite has their own now as well.
Supernatural. Yeah, I guess they have to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that the other companies are either doing their own. I haven't seen them in the comic book shops yet. I don't know how many trades are out. Not trades, but these catalogs are out there now.
Yeah, that's 4, right?
That's 4. So you got Marvel, DC, IDW, Dynamite,
Image
Entertainment. So does Image have one?
Image has their own.
I have not seen the Image one. So it's basically, you get them all together and get the Image one, and you have a preview. And I'm sure that, although I haven't seen one, I would imagine Luna has some sort of catalog. Maybe they're only digital. And there's quite a few of them out there, so I'm sure there are quite a bit.
62 says that Titan has one. Titan Books.
Yeah, so I imagine they all have them, and I don't know if they give them away to the comic book shops or if they sell them, direct to the comic book shop. So it's interesting.
Let's start out with an early read, rip, and slab. We'll get back to your books.
All right.
We'll do my birthday one first.
Hey, Donald Rex is here. Hello, Donald Rex.
Hello there, Donald Rex. Since it's August 1966 is my birthday month, and since it's my birthday, I picked the first issues that came out. Let me see. Where's the share button now? Share screen.
Does it share? Goodness. It doesn't share.
Google Chrome window. There we go. Here are the 3 first issues that came out in August 1966. We've got Superheroes #1, cover by Sal Trapani. Doc Savage #1, cover by James Bama. And a photo cover on Lone Ranger Golden West #1. 62 says he's lost without previews. Checked Lunar's website, then Dark Horse website, and gave up this week. Huh. I'm lucky I get an email from my comic shop with all the comics on final order cutoff. So these were the #1s you could have gotten the month I was born. And since everybody loves #1s.
Oh, yeah.
Just like newborn babies.
Sal Trapani is trying to do Steve Ditko.
Yeah, that would think. Yeah, I can see that.
Not bad looking. I can honestly say I've never seen any of these issues. Maybe the superhero #1. I may have seen an image before.
I may have seen that in like some goofy superheroes from the 60s like thing.
Right.
But I don't remember it specifically.
Yeah,
Doc Savage I've seen lots of issues of with James Bama. He was the regular painter for those covers, I think.
Yeah, he used to have a shirt that was ripped exactly as it was supposed to be drawn. And he would put it on the model. And then one day, his wife threw it out.
Oh.
What's this rag doing here?
And Lone Ranger, I've never heard of that particular. Of course, I know the Lone Ranger, but I've never heard of that particular.
Well,
I don't know if I've ever owned a Lone Ranger comic, now that I think of it.
I know that I haven't. I used to like the film. Oh, I used to like the Filmation show.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen the live actions. The first time I
saw the live action used to run in syndication when I was a kid in the 70s. So I've seen the live action show, the one from the 50s, but I haven't seen it in a lot of years.
it had an actual Native American playing Tonto. I think it was the first time on TV, not in the movies, but on TV.
Donald Rex says, I was born in August 58. Slim pickings for my birthday books for me. 62 Lefty Blues says, Slab Doc Savage, read superheroes, and rip the Lone Ranger. SBPT, let the games begin, gentlemen. And Tit Goblin says, read Super, rip Ranger, Slab Doc. That seems to be what
I am going to slab Doc Savage, but I'm going to rip superheroes and read Lone Ranger because it's a giant comic, which means more pages.
Aha.
So it's good value for money.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that way myself, is to read the Lone Ranger. I'm just not sure which one I'm going to rip and which one I'm going to slab.
Also, one thing you'll notice that there's Dell's and Gold Keys in the same month, which means that Western Publishing already set out to do their own operation, and Dell are trying to create comics on their own.
I just noticed that. That's why there's probably number ones this month.
Yeah, and
right around that time.
And that's the best that Dell could come up with is trying to do a copy of the Fantastic Four. That's not even a decent copy of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that's why I think I would slab the superheroes, because there's 4 chances of one of them being the breakout hero to get their own book, and it started here because it's a quiet key, and unfortunately that means I would have to rip Doc Savage.
So let's dolphin. I
think the snake.
Have
him choking the dolphin.
I'm going to dolphin scout Tonto's horse. So Tonto will ride around the prairie on a dolphin.
Let's see. SBPT wants to read Doc, rip Ranger, and slab Super. You know what? I am going to slab the Lone Ranger, and then I'll have the only Lone Ranger slab out there.
There you go.
Maybe. I imagine that not many people slab this one, especially because it's a giant comic,
and no one here is slabbing it. So,
and here's the thing: this is a giant comic, and even though it's a gold key, it's still the Lone Ranger, who was always popular around the time, and I bet a lot of people who bought this read this multiple times. They just never bought another Lone Ranger comic ever, but they read it a bunch of times. Probably because it was the only comic that they had in Grandpa's place.
Yeah, probably.
They left it there, and when they go on vacation, I'm bored. What am I going to do? Well, I guess I'll read the Lone Ranger again.
I'm going to slab the Ranger, read superheroes, which means I have to rip up that pretty James Bama cover. Oh, I'm going to dolphin the Lone Ranger in the picture above the logo, where he's standing there with Tonto, and there's going to be a dolphin right there.
Dolphin and Tonto.
And the flamingos are going to be standing on Doc Savage's front bicep.
Interesting. I was going to put him on the head, but on the bicep, it's even better.
I'm planning to put the flamingos on the superheroes cover, just because it gets to add more characters onto that cover. And I think I would have them at the very front of the cover. So it gives it like a nice classic Silver Age Gil Kane head side headpiece looking at those heroes.
SBPT, I vote on Dolphin the Snake too. French children demand it. Yes, you want to traumatize them.
You can't have them hugging a snake.
Right, and here we go. Jared will have the only slabbed Ranger after everyone else ripped it. That is 100%.
you may sell it for as high as $5.
What did Sal Trapani do of note?
He was an inker at Marvel in the 70s.
Yeah, I know his name. I just can't think of any of his work.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know he penciled, but I can't for the life of me remember what. I know he did a lot of inking. That was probably the easiest way for him to make money.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very familiar with his name, but for some reason I can't remember a thing that he did.
And here's the thing: he wasn't doing at Marvel. He wasn't doing the regular top sellers because all of those were inked by Mike Esposito or something. So, but he did a bunch. I know he did Ghost Riders. I think he did Werewolf by Night. So anything that doesn't sell, give it to me and I'll do it. I bet he was
Evening Comic Crack.
I bet he was doing that.
He was the brother-in-law of Dick Giordano.
Oh, okay.
So
that'll get him some work.
Did he work for Charlton?
Yes, he is listed as. Oh wait, not Charlton. Hold on. Marvel
Comics,
DC Comics, Hillman, Gilmore, Gilberton, Charlton. So he did work for Charlton. American Comics Group, Warren, Dell, and Gold Key. And his titles are mostly inker or cover artist.
Is that old?
Donald Rex says Trapani worked for Charlton, I think, back in the 40s. Wow. And Eric P. says, if you paid 25 cents for the Lone Ranger, stored it for 59 years, and then sold it for $5, did you profit? You know what? A tree falls in the woods and there's no one there to hear it. That's a philosophical question. The question I have about that Lone Ranger is, was there some sort of graphic designer involved in it at all? Because that cover looks, I mean, it's like, how do you even come up with that design?
Here are the approved images, and none of them are tall enough to be a cover.
Here are the tiny little snapshots.
Yeah, here are the slides that we got from the studio, and they gave it to us. Slides.
Back then? Jared, I now have an answer for you. You did make a profit.
All right.
So a quarter in 1966, after inflation, it's $2.49 today.
All right.
So if you sell it for $5, you get 100% profit.
And that's assuming that storage cost was zero, because it probably was.
I think you can keep this one at home.
Eric P. says that Lone Ranger cover screams lowest possible effort licensed comic. Oh, yeah. Missing Mars says, yes, you would have profited. StreamYard. James Bama did a lot of covers for Gold Key, didn't he? I mean, not just on Doc Savage. Didn't he paint a lot of stuff? Wasn't he like a regular cover artist for a bunch of things?
I guess.
I wonder how many paintings you have to make for Gold Key to have a good living. I don't know, because how much could they have paid per cover? Because those are pretty time-consuming paintings. They weren't just knocked out.
Right, and they all had beautiful painted covers.
Yeah, I wonder how much money we would get paid.
Huh. I don't think he did that many comics. I'm looking for his. I tried going for James Bama comic covers, and I do get a bunch of those skin magazines, for men only.
Am I thinking of another artist who Gold Key used a lot? I don't know. Like, who did Jesse March did the inside of Tarzan. Someone else did like a lot of covers for them or something. I can't remember. But there is somebody who did like a lot of painted covers for Dell or Gold Key.
George Wilson.
What is amazing about that Lone Ranger cover, the Lone Ranger cover, the back cover is such a more superior design.
Yeah.
And it's a full photo cover of the Lone Ranger on his horse. No text or anything like that. It's just a beautiful image that should have been the cover. And I could only think is that the Lone Ranger Golden West logo took up way too much space.
It's just
and
so
they
weird.
Couldn't decide what's on the cover. You could pick this one up as a 9.0 copy. They're calling it a file copy on eBay, and the person wants $199 for it. Whether or not it's worth that, don't know.
Ever get that? And let's see. Eric P. mentioned something here that I just discovered too. With previews only online being more limited, I have been looking at the comic news site and League of Comic Geeks to see what's coming out. I just discovered League of Comic Geeks maybe a month ago. And it's just a, comic book website where you can keep track of your pull list. And it shows you what's coming out, and it's kind of a nice little visual site. So I actually started using that a little bit to keep track of my pull list just for the heck of it. You just put in what comics you want to pull. And what I find interesting is it gives you a little information now too, because every week I get an email from them showing me like the most pulled books of the week.
Interesting.
So I'm like, I don't know how big their user base is, but at least it's interesting to get, some sort of information about which comics are popular or not. I thought may as well add my voice to that so some indie books can get on in their database. But yeah, I started using League of Comic Geeks just recently. It's pretty cool.
I have to give that one a try myself.
Mm-hmm. Wilson, I saw 4K Shin Godzilla in the theater Tuesday. Well worth seeing again, says Comic Crack.
Good movie, very entertaining, but the caveat is there's a lot of meetings. And the movie moves from one meeting room to another meeting room. They did a fantastic job on basically showing bureaucracy stall things going on. I mean, it's an allegory for what happened with the nuclear reactor after the storm. So it was just this whole movie about a monster disaster with them having these meetings and meetings back to back, and how the government slowed down to dealing with a disaster. And a great movie, but there's a lot of text to get through.
Oh, Comic Crack, he's used League for a while now as well. Great way to organize your pull list and hopefully not miss out. Yeah, like I said, it's you can I'm lucky enough to get every week I get an email from my local comic shop which has final order cutoff on it, and I just have to click on a link to order a book. Easy peasy. Every comic shop should have this. But you can also go to League of Comic Geeks and see final order cutoff also. Exactly, Wilson. He agrees with you. Here's something I want to show you that Tit Goblin sent me. He's like, I got some comics for Reed, Rip, and Slab, but there's only 2 of them, and they're production problem comics. So there's only, it's not really a Reed, Rip, and Slab. I just wanted to show you this. It's Fire, and I don't know how they'd even do this in 1984. Let me show it to you. This is share screen, window. Here is Firestorm number 22. And if you look at the logo, instead of cutting Firestorm's hair over the logo, they overprinted it. And if you look on the F and R, they overprinted this gray or blue line on it has to be a mistake.
Right, yeah.
They overprinted this gray line too. So this woman's and that monster's, it's not quite a black line, it's a blue line, is overprinted over the logo too. You can see it through the yellow. So, but it's like, I wouldn't even know how to tell in 1984 to tell the printer how to overprint something. And what all overprint means is you print right over the top. So what happens is there's something called knockout and there's something called overprint. And usually the logo would do what we call knockout, and it would knock out all the art that's behind it so that you wouldn't see through the logo would be opaque and not transparent. When you hit overprint, you can see the stuff behind it. So it sort of makes the logo transparent. And it's certainly making the black line of and color of Firestorm's flaming hair. But it's not cut out like, you would do.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it was because it's issue 22.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they had planned to have Firestorm and those creatures behind them to just be over the cover, over the logo.
Yeah.
It may not been the big no-no that it was at Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
That, it's issue 22. They know who Firestorm is. Let's have it in front. And then at the last minute, they either decided not to do it and they couldn't change anything, or whatever they didn't work.
Yeah.
Whatever
it clearly looks like that hair was meant to cut out of the logo.
Yeah, because the hair is completely in color, and I could definitely see those creatures behind the woman and the wolf, I guess I will call it, would have gone in front of the logo. It would have been in that blue color, and it would have been fine. But I'm thinking, somewhere along the line, something did not get communicated correctly, and it went through it.
Yeah,
it's a wild look. Yep.
It's weird. Like, I don't even know how to indicate that so it would get messed up like that.
Right. So whatever they were trying, let's see, it's 1984. That's so early computer, but I doubt they even attempted.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing something didn't get communicated between production and the printer.
Someone just went, just overprinted the line. Yeah. I don't know. But the cut, that's so weird. Captain Infinity says, remember to overprint your body text so you get all that full CMYK on every letter. Kid Goblin is the one who sent me to this. Said it confused him so much.
Yeah. You have issue 23 and see if they wrote anything in the letters pages.
Yeah. Back to the making money off of Lone Ranger #1, Eric P. I think it would have made more collecting interest in the bank for 59 years, though.
Yeah.
Random reason. Actually, at 5%, it would be 4.9 cent interest 60 years later. But yeah, I found that an interesting one. I'm like, I don't even know how you'd mess that up. You're right. Someone had to have wanted to cut that out over the logo, and it didn't happen. And this is how it ended up.
Yeah, I would imagine that's what it would have been.
Because if we were to do this in the bullpen in 1990, what we would do was we'd have we'd have the original art, no coloring, the original art for Firestorm, and then we would, it's funny, usually sometimes it went on an acetate overlay, but not usually because that was more expensive. We'd paste the logo down right on the cover, and then we'd take an X-Acto blade and cut out Firestorm's, and anything that was going over the logo, we'd cut out of the logo right on the board. That didn't happen. So maybe, and the other way to do it was, like I said, we preferred this way so we didn't have to cut on the art, but we didn't always get to do because, like, that's more expensive. You would have the original art. You'd tape a piece of acetate over the original art. You'd put the logo down, and you'd cut out the logo on the piece of acetate. Though sometimes people would just indicate that they wouldn't physically cut it out. They'd indicate that the logo goes over the head. That's where something, I forgot about this. That's where something messed up in the process. So instead of, so what you would do, you'd have your art, you'd put the acetate over the art, you'd paste the logo down, and then you'd take a piece of layout bond, that white thin paper that is made for markers and such. You'd put that over top of both of them. You can see through it a little bit. And then you would draw where you want the hair to come over the logo. Something in that process got messed up. That's where the miscommunication was. When they got the drawing to see where something got messed up. Or they said, wow, this is going to cost you an extra $100. They went, screw it, just overprint the logo or something. But yeah, that's an interesting mistake.
Yeah.
Let's see. Friar Tuck says, I have that Firestorm issue, but unfortunately don't have 23. I'm going to check the letters page for Wilson.
Well, the letters for 22 probably wouldn't have been printed before 24 or 25.
Yeah. And who knows if anyone even really noticed or would know it was a mistake. Mm-hmm. Random Reads, putting the money in the bank is almost always going to beat 98% of pop culture memorabilia. But money in the bank is boring. Well, I don't know. The interest rates banks give out now, 0.007%. I don't know.
Yeah, you might as well invest in an issue of Spider-Girl.
Yeah.
A random one.
So on Hawks Auctions, I'm sorry, yeah, Heritage Auctions, the original cover is there. In black and white. I just sent a link to you in the private chat.
Let's see.
It is so the logo itself is also transparent. And there are some lines indicating on it. So it's like the Nuclear Man portion is transparent. Firestorm is solid, and then you could see some of the notes that are on it.
I gotta look at this now.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be one of those cases where the characters were going to be overlapping the logo, and somebody messed up.
Let's see what we can see. Let me go back here. Back to share. That's cool that Wilson found the original art. So there we go. Yeah, it's transparent. They have.
Yeah.
Blue, black. That is weird.
Yeah, so it was blue. It's supposed to be over it as blue. And the black lines are there. And then I guess the colorist got it and was like, all right, so we'll color everything in on it. So that was all done on purpose.
Yeah, I wondered that looks like a sheet of acetate there, though.
Yes, the logo itself is on acetate.
Yeah.
And then they drew onto it.
Wow.
They continued the artwork onto it.
So that was not a mistake.
That was the way it was designed that way on purpose.
Interesting. Yeah. And Firestorm, is the top of the wolf's head drawn on the logo level?
It looks like it is.
Yeah.
It almost looks like the girl's level. She's not cut out. So she's drawn on it as well. And then there's little bits of white out. So it almost looks like it's cut out, but it's not. So it's drawn on the logo.
So they were really trying something fancy with this.
Yeah.
And it ended up looking like a weird mistake. The wolf guy is craziest in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like one of those things where, oh, do we cover it? Do we put it behind it? And the compromise was like, let's put it through it.
So blue is referring to the wolf's head and the woman's head. They're letting you know that the line is blue, and Firestorm's hair has a black line.
Right. To make it look like it's, since he's the main character.
Right.
His would pop out.
I don't know that it mattered.
Yeah. But it's like interesting.
Yeah, that is.
But I'm glad I found it. I'm glad.
Yeah, me too. That's interesting. It wasn't a mistake. It was 100% done on purpose and looks like a mistake. That is so weird. Production stuff from the past. Who doesn't love it?
And if anyone would like to purchase it, you have to make an offer of at least $5,760.
Wow. Tit Goblin says, F it, go through it.
It'll work, don't worry about it.
Let's move on to a 70s Reed Rippin slab. Let's see, what do I got? What do I got set up? All right, let's go with some more Marvel, some more first issues. 1972 July, Marvel first issues.
All that many in 1 month?
Yep, another Doc Savage. And these are all Marvel 10th anniversary covers. We got Doc's Gunhawks #1, Sid Shore's cover. Doc Savage #1, John Buscema cover. And Jungle Action #1, John Buscema cover. All in the box covers, the Marvel 10th anniversary style.
Okay, to help you decide, here's the funny thing. The Doc Savage color comic adapted stories from the pulps. The Black and White magazine had all new stories made by the Marvel writers and artists, which is kind of weird because you expect the supposedly adult magazine to adapt the original stories, but no,
they couldn't do that.
Gunhawks is a new series. It's not a reprint series. It doesn't have the main story is not a reprint.
Reno Jones, Kid Cassidy. Yeah, one of the Gunhawks is black, so that wouldn't be a reprint.
But Jungle Action, the first 4 issues are reprints from Marvel's Jungle Comics from the early 50s.
Lorna, Tharn, and Jan with 2 N's.
Lorna, Queen of the Jungle, and Jan of the Jungle. Very original. Tharn, they renamed the character because originally it was Lozar.
I would want to read Gunhawks because at this point of my life, I care nothing for Doc Savage.
Reno Jones and Kid Cassidy. Those are his guys.
Those are my guys. So I would read Reno Jones and Kid Cassidy. I would Slab Jungle Action. See, it's hard to pick because they're both Buscema covers.
Yeah.
What Buscema do I want?
By the way, my favorite pronunciation of Buscema was I knew someone in high school who called him Buscema.
Buscema?
Buscema. That was my favorite. Buscema. John was doing 2 comics a month. Amazing. At least 2 comic covers.
He was doing 2 comic covers. At this stage, I think he was probably drawing Fantastic Four and maybe Thor.
Let's see. 62 says Slab Jungle Action, Read Gunhawks, and Rip Doc. Already read it. Tit Goblin says Read Savage, Doc Savage, Rip Gunhawks, and Slab Jungle Dolphin Lion.
Yeah, I'm going to read I'm going to read Doc Savage, Rip Gunhawks, and Slab Jungle Action. Here's the thing: Gunhawks is not something that's very interesting. Although they picked up on a plot point from the Gunhawks series when they did that Blaze of Glory back around 1999. That Western that Marvel did in 1999 with Leonardo Manco art, which is very good. It was the first time I double dipped. Had bought the mini series, and then I bought the trade paperback. But the Gunhawk series apparently was very good. Not even compared to the Western Ghost Rider. And Doc Savage is adapts to pulp, so this one's better.
I think I would slab Doc Savage for that Buscema cover. As I said before, read Gunhawks, and that means I would have to rip Jungle Action right between the lion and is that Lorna or is that Jan? That's Shauna?
That's Lorna.
That's Lorna. Okay.
Yeah.
Rip it right straight down. And of course, I'm going to put the flamingos on the Doc Savage cover because it's a nice skeleton of a building, so there's plenty of places for the flamingos to hang out. And in the tradition of dolphining the woman, I'm going to exchange her for the dolphin on the Jungle Action cover. So the lion is going after the dolphin.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to dolphin the guy on the top beam in Doc Savage.
The one shooting at him?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm going to put the flamingos on the Gunhawks covers right by Reno Jones's feet. They're going to be... Oh, somebody shooting at us, I guess.
Eric P's going to read Doc Savage, Slab Jungle Action, Rip Gunhawks, Dolphin whatever Doc has. Whatever he's lifting there.
Looks like an I-beam.
That'll work. And Flamingos to Jungle Action. Right after the N in action. Yeah, I think you can put the...
That's not an I-beam. For some reason, that looks like a 2x4 with rivets.
Think I'm going to slab Gunhawks. Read Doc Savage and rip Jungle Action. And I'm gonna make that lion into a dolphin to keep the French children safe. You can't have a scary lion on a cover.
That's right.
And I'm gonna put the flamingos at the Gunhawks' feet. They're gonna be kind of hiding amongst their feet, going, "Hey, we don't want to get shot in here." 2 Buscema covers. Who has published Doc Savage? We just saw
everyone.
Gold Key did it in the 60s, Marvel in the 70s. Has DC ever published Doc Savage?
Yes, in the 80s. I have the trade paperback with the late 1989 Doc Savage series, art by a young Andy Kubert.
When's the last time he was Dynamite or somebody publishing some Doc Savage? Was he among their pulp heroes or whatever?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Dynamite. 62 Lefty Blues just said Dynamite did.
Yeah.
DC did. I always found Doc Savage a little weird in that he was better than everybody. It's like usually when the hero gathers experts together, it's because they know more than him. but he knew more than all his experts. It's like, why do you even have these guys?
So that it can be many places at once. Now you go and do this exactly as I tell you, and you go and do that exactly as I tell you, and you get me some coffee exactly as I tell you.
Here's a weird CGC thing. Remember, we've had discussions before in CGC where I'm always like, I saw this, 5.0 random CGC book on eBay or something, and I'm always like, who would CGC that book? And the answer we came up with was kind of, that was somebody's favorite book from their childhood or something. Well, I just saw it on Comic Talk, people show off their comics. And this one guy was showing off he's just got books back from CGC. And I think his story was he wasn't really a comic. He looked to be in his mid to late 20s, whatever. Actually, he had to be older than that for some of them, 30s maybe. But he's like, oh, yeah, I found this. These are the comics I loved as a kid. So my kids can. And he's showing off his comics. And some of them are like some random early 90s issue of Spider-Man. And it's like a 4.5. And he's like, oh, not bad, not bad. And like all his books were just like random books. And all the grades, which he was happy with because he clearly had no context for grading CGC stuff. But he was, they were all like anything from like a 4.5 up to a 6.5. And everyone was like, oh, not bad. And I'm like, why is he getting these books slabbed? I'm not sure. But the kicker was at the end, his best graded book was, I can't even remember what the book was, but there was a pricing gun sticker on the front. The pricing guns that you use there was one on the front of the book. And it came back like an 8.5. And he's like, oh, pretty good. Oh, I didn't even notice there was a pricing gun. There was a sticker on it. And I was like, what?
How can you not notice?
How did you not notice? He's like, oh, this probably could have been a 9.5 or something. I'm like, so there are people out there who will send a book to CGC and not really knowing what they're doing, and will have a pricing gun sticker on the front of it and not even know it until it comes back. It's like, what? So yes, that's why the books get slabbed.
Yep, it's somebody's favorite book.
Yep.
They've had it for years, and their mind is in great condition. I ran into that myself, where I thought, "Oh, I must still have this. Must be in mint condition."
I haven't touched it in 25 years.
I haven't touched it in 25 years, and not think about the fact that I read it every day for that month until the next issue came out. Yes, I may have slabbed it. I mean, I bagged and boarded it, but 25 years ago, or if not more at this point, where it's like, wow, I'm surprised the cover's still on it. It was just so.
That's also like
condition.
Jerry's books, who used to work with us, right before COVID, he's like, do you want these? He was moving apartments. He lives over in Jersey. It's like, do you want these books? Otherwise, I got to throw them out. I'm like, I really don't want them. No. It's like, come on, I'm going to throw them out. So I took 10 boxes of books from him, put them out in the garage. And these were all his Marvel comps. And he's never looked at them all these years. But they're really only in 7.580 condition because they've been sitting in boxes unbagged that he's moved around from time to time.
Right.
So they've all got tick marks up and down the spine and rubbed, the gloss is rubbed off them just from being in the box and being moved as he moved whatever he did with it. Like, he wasn't looking at them, but none of them are in mint condition. None of them. They're all in dollar bin condition because they've basically been in a dollar bin for 20 years.
Did you go looking for stuff like the first Harley Quinn? Because we all got them.
The only thing that was in there that was semi-worthwhile, I still haven't even looked at all of them, was the Adam Hughes Wonder Woman covers.
Right.
Those are in there, I remember. I don't remember anything else but those. But now there was no first Harley Quinn in there, I don't think. But
from our time period, it would have been the first 2 Harley Quinns, and it would have also been the Carnage taking over the Silver Surfer. That became hot for a hot second. And yeah, the Adam Hughes Wonder Woman cover, something in that time period. It's just, again, it's like one of those weird things, like, oh yeah, we got those. Those came in with the bundles, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The alternate issue, not alternate, but the recalled issue of Spidey could be in there, as well as the recall issue of Mission Impossible. There's a chance of those being in there as well.
Huh. I'll have to catalog them closely sometime, but it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Time flies. Since 2020. Since spring of 2020. I think it was DC. I have a spirit from that imprint.
There was a thing they called First Line, where they tried to put the Spirit, Doc Savage, the Avenger, and 1940s Batman in the same comic, but it didn't last long. And that's after that it went to Dynamite, and they even had there was even a crossover with Grendel.
Let me whip through a few new comics before we get back to Read, Rip, and Slab Extravaganza. I picked up Escape #1, which is a World War II story with anthropomorphic animals.
I was going to ask, is that a bear on the cover?
Yep. Or it might be a dog. I don't know what. They're bear or dog.
Not human, yeah.
Rick Remender, Danielle Acuna. What does that end? That wavy thing over the end mean?
Yeah, Acuna.
Danielle Acuna. And it was a pretty solid first issue. It was mostly a bomber mission over Berlin in World War II with this crew of anthropomorphic characters, and then they crash landed, and this guy is like being hunted now around the city. I'll pick up a second issue and see how it is. We got that. We got the 4th issue of Exquisite Corpses.
Nice cover.
Yeah, that's a Michael Walsh cover. This issue is Adam Gorham and Michael Walsh has kind of been working on all of them. And this is like the assassins fighting each other in this small town. Grayson and Tinian are the writers. So it's been a solid comic. I think it's going 12 issues. This one's been one of the hot indie comics of the last few months. So you'll see this one pop up in most pulled of the week somewhere. There's been and Paul Azaceta and Rick Remender, The Seasons. Issue 7. This one was pretty good. The last 2 issues have been a lot of action as our main characters, the Season sisters, or at least 2 of them, have to fight against this carnival that's taking over their town and all the people in it. So this one was a big sort of fight scene. And I don't know what Paul Azaceta is using as his reference here, but it reminds me of a French small town just because of that big red balloon short that happened years ago, which I think wasn't in a small town. It was in Paris. Let's see. I also got the Department of Truth. This wrapped up this storyline with our new art. I think this is just a fill-in artist. I don't know. Candanici. This was sort of an internet story about things it was sort of a Slender Man story, except it's Hat Man. And if you believe in Half Man enough and drink enough cold syrup, he comes and gets you. And Hat Man came and got her friend, so she wanted to try and find her friend, but Hat Man came and got her. It's like, why did you do that? It's very much like, what was that movie that someone mentioned a while ago? What another comic was like about the guy whose girlfriend was kidnapped by a serial killer, and he's like, get in this trunk. The same thing will happen to you. So he does. That's kind of what this was. She did the same thing her friend did, and Hat Man came and got her. It didn't end well for her. Oh, and there's also, I don't know what this is. We're getting the Department of Truth #0. I don't know if there's a one shot, but it's this September, acclaimed creators Scott Snyder and Joshua Hickson join the Department of Truth to reveal what really happened to Elvis Presley. So I guess it's just sort of like an annual or a special.
Yeah.
But I'll get that. Yeah, Joshua Hickson, The Deviant. I really enjoyed The Deviant. He did some nice art in that. The Deviant was the one that was that Christmas noir serial killer story that I got. That I think ended at the beginning of this year. But there are a few comics. Let's do another Reed Ripper Slab before Wilson shows us some more. Let's see. We'll go to the 80s. What do we got in the 80s? Oh, I have the wrong date on it. This is 1988 November, but it says 1979 for some reason. Is that Marvel? This should be up Wilson's alley.
All right. 1988. High school.
We seem to have a lot of Jeff Purvis Hulks in these, don't we?
Yeah, he was around for quite a while.
All right. Avengers 300, got it. Incredible Hulk 352, pretty sure I got it.
I don't remember that one.
Daredevil 263, yep.
Oh, yeah. 80s, hold my ginger ale, SBPT says.
Got them all off the rack or at Forbidden Planet. 59th Street.
I've read none of these. I was well out of reading Marvel comics at this time.
John Buscema, Tom Palmer artwork.
I don't remember that Hulk. Is that Keeper of the Flame?
It looks like he could be keeping some flames.
But
I don't know.
All that issue.
Keeper of the Flame was a sort of a not quite ally of Tyrannus.
If I were to imagine a Keeper of the Flames Hulk, he'd be in a white robed outfit, sort of like that. So.
No, he dressed like an Inca.
Boy, that Tit Goblin has snap judgments. He's reading Daredevil, ripping the Avengers, and slabbing Hulk. He knows right away.
Okay, so that's 300. That's an Inferno. Yeah, these are Inferno crossovers. The Avengers and Daredevil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, they are.
62 is agreeing with Tit Goblin.
Yeah, so that might have been when Daredevil was walking through hell.
Yeah. No, wait.
I didn't realize Terry Austin inked Jeff Purvis on Hulk.
On the covers.
Just the covers.
They did the covers. Daredevil's not. I think he's already come back from hell.
Has he? Okay.
Is this the issue where he's talking to Mephisto, but everybody thinks everybody in the bar thinks it's a hot woman?
Huh. Tit Goblin liked that Daredevil.
And they talk about the nature of sin.
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I haven't read any of these books since they've come out. I never went back to them.
An entire issue of Daredevil where Mephisto and Matt Murdock are in a bar talking about the meaning of life.
Okay.
Thank you, Endosani.
I am going to slab Daredevil. would reread Avengers because I remember liking it. I think that's also the first appearance of the Forgotten One, which is Gilgamesh.
It's the it's the first. It's the second appearance of the Forgotten One as Gilgamesh. He builds that armor in the previous issue.
Oh, okay. And unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to rip the Hulk.
No, wait, no. He builds the armor in this issue. It's 300, yeah.
Eric P. is going to read Daredevil, Slab Hulk, rip Avengers, Dolphin Hulk's Fist, Flamingos. In the Flamingos in the DD's background. Dolphin Hulk. Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna read Avengers, Slab Hulk, and rip Daredevil. Because I'm really not in the mood for Daredevil talking about the meaning of life.
I think I want to read that Hulk. So I'm going to slab Avengers and have to rip Daredevil. Now here's a question: is like a 300th issue automatically a key issue? Let's just say no first appearances. No, it's just the 300th issue.
Is the
300th automatically a key issue, even though it doesn't mean it's expensive?
You know, it could almost be it because it's a milestone book.
Yeah.
Back before they were issuing number ones over and over again.
Right.
So this is volume 1 of Avengers, and it is the second book to hit 300.
No.
No, it's not.
No, because Thor had the numbering from Journey into Mystery. Hulk continued numbering from Tales to Astonish, and Captain America from Tales of Suspense. So those had 300s way before even Fantastic Four and Spider-Man.
Okay. So it's the first one to hit a true 300 without. Oh, we can make.
That's Fantastic Four. The first one to the true 300 is Fantastic Four.
Is it okay?
So I guess this is the third. This is the third one.
Okay.
But I'm going to say
we're still a while from X-Men hitting 300.
You could make the argument that any like anniversary issue like this, you could say key issue 300.
Yeah, and
the number is what makes it key.
The number makes it key. This is the new team that comes together.
Right.
You know, 2 members of the Fantastic Four joining another team while they're still members of the Fantastic Four.
No, they're not still members of the Fantastic Four. They had retired. These are the only costumes they have.
Oh, okay. I got to revisit these books. It's been so long. I just only remembered that was Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
It features first appearance of Chassadra from Earth 616. Says Eric.
Yes. Sort of, yeah.
I don't know who Chassadra is.
It is a demon that the Lava Man worship. Because in 5 issues, the Lava Man come back and accuse the Avengers of murder.
Eric P. League of Comic Geeks says Avengers 300 is not a key, and a raw copy is worth $5.
Well, I think what do they know?
Yeah, who cares what they think?
Isn't this also the first appearance of? No, it's not the first appearance of the Captain.
And it's not even the first appearance of the Captain in the Avengers, because he appears in the Heavy Metal storyline.
Right. And which Thor is that? Is that regular Thor? Or is that
that's regular Thor? In that story, they come back from the fight with Seth because
right.
Because Dane Whitman, Namor had used the ebony sword to kill Marina, so he activated the curse. But the one who was hit by the curse was the Black Knight. So Thor comes back. So then they go fight Seth because he's attacking Asgard. And when they come back from the battle with Seth, they arrive in the New York Inferno. But Dane Whitman can't move anymore. So Thor hides him in a pocket dimension and conveniently forgets about him for like 5 years.
Who's the guy with the horns in the back there? The yellow
Gilgamesh. It was the forgotten.
Okay.
It was the forgotten one from the Eternals.
Ah, all right. Let's see. SBPT says read DD. Love the Incenti run. So he's ready to read Daredevil talking to Mephisto, Lady Mephisto in a bar. Slab Hulk, long live Peter David. Riff Avengers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna read the Jeff Purvis drawn Hulk with where he's fighting the Keeper of the Flame. No.
I'm gonna dolphin Gilgamesh because I think a dolphin.
That's actually an improvement for some people. That's actually an improvement.
And that dolphin's gonna have horns.
Yeah, you put the dolphin, but he keeps Gilgamesh's armor.
Keep the armor. I'm actually going to replace Daredevil with the dolphin, so Mephisto is holding a dolphin instead.
Yeah.
I'm
going to dolphin one of the Keeper of the Flames rod thingies.
I'm putting the flamingos right on that Avengers cover. They're going to be running right along with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that putting the flamingos on Reed's arm. So as he's stretching the arm, the flamingos are all right in his arm. So they're all still running, but they're taking a ride on his arm.
Yeah, it didn't Cap shield. It's a funny thing that a really stupid thing that Cap says in that story. Cap had been in the Evolutionary Wars, and he had arrived on Avengers Island to find out that the team was disbanded because of the thing with Dr. Druid and Nebula, and he had made up an impromptu team for the Evolutionary Wars crossover. But then he goes, okay, what do I do now? So because now he's all alone. There's no Avengers. Let me go and talk to Reed Richards, just because. So he wakes Reed and Sue up, and hey Cap, what do you want? Wait, you know who I am? Yeah, I mean your costume is identical. It's just black.
Smartest man in the world.
He figured that out. All right, want to show some more comics, Wilson?
Sure. So grab these today. So from my pull list, we have G.I. Joe issue number 10. The Baroness, and I believe, I'm not sure if that's Lady J on the cover.
Special stabby cover.
Yep. So you have the Baroness going after either Lady J or Scarlet or CoverGirl. I am not too sure which one. The next issue from my pull list is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 10. A nice Daily Bugle cover.
Spider-Man will punch you cover.
Right. He's upset.
Spider-Man is a menace.
He always was a menace. And Absolute Batman issue number 11. Where you see maybe Batman's boots are hanging there.
Huh.
And a very large Bane.
Eric P. says that is CoverGirl in Baroness.
Okay, so it is CoverGirl.
So I thought when you said CoverGirl, you just meant some random woman on the cover.
No, there is a G.I. Joe member named CoverGirl.
That's funny.
I was like, I'll tell you what the Autobots and Decepticons and special teams are, but I have no idea who any of the G.I. Joe are.
Transformers issue number 23. Mm-hmm. And then I got 3 left. Do we want to go through them or save them for a little later?
We'll save them for a little later.
All right, sounds good.
We'll save them for the next time. First, I'll tell you a weird little way I bought something I need. Only 2 Walking Deads I got this week. This is issue 9, a single-digit issue. This cost me $39 with shipped and tax. Pretty good for a nice condition one. And this is 28, which cost me $14.21. Once again, near mint condition, so good. the funny way I bought one was, and I've never, I'm looking for these early issues to replace them. Replace the ones I sold years ago. And so I think it was issue 30. And usually I like buy it nows or make an offer because you want instant gratification, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I have like a list of about how much I think I'm going to pay for each issue without shipping and tax. So I saw this one. I think I had $10 on Walking Dead number 30. So I'm, going along, whatever. This one pops up. It's an auction. And the opening bid is, I think, $7. Plus, there's a make an offer, which always confuses me. Because I'm like,
when it's an auction, the make an offer is like, I want to make it lower than what they're asking for anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want me to make you an offer of $5? Well, you have what I can't. But so of course when I see that, my brain is just like, I don't know what to, So I'm like, I saw it and I won't pay attention to it. I'll see. So then a few days later, as it got closer to the end, I was like, oh, maybe I don't even know if I want to make a bid on this. So I was like, you know what? I'll make a bid at the end tomorrow, and clicked on it. I clicked to watch the auction. And then I was working the next day and didn't notice I got an email that said the auction is ending till an hour after it was over. I was like, oh well, I've put a $7 bid on that and maybe got it at the end. But then he relisted it. Same, and I was like, same $7, same exact auction. I went, you know what? I'm just making him an offer of $7.
Right.
So I just sent him an offer for the opening bid, and which I knew he would take because it just. I was like, all right, but I've never bought anything like that before. Just waited till the auction. The auction was over, and I went, make an offer is the opening bid. All right, that now right. I know what to do. Now I know how to. If the opening bid is good enough for me, make the offer at the opening bid. So I was like, lesson learned. So I've got that one coming for next week or so.
I was doing an eBay auction on a couple of action figures, and it was like midday. No one bidded on this thing the whole day. I was watching it for the week. No bidding or anything. So I was like, all right, here's my opening bid. And then I put, all right, let me put the max that I would pay for this. And it was about, I would say maybe 13 action figures. And it was going to be maybe like $7, which is a fantastic price. And I was like, all right, I'll go as high up as I think $20 for it because it still makes them $1 something. And so a minute before the auction is over, people started bidding on it. So I'm watching it go up. It goes past my number. And I was like, all right, I'm willing to go up to this much. And it kept popping up. And I was like, all right, I'm out. It went above the 25 that I had in my mind, kind of a thing. And it was like, and it ended and I didn't win it or whatever. And I was like, all right. The next day, it pops up as relisted and available. And it's like, hold on. I was the highest bidder to a certain point, and then it just kept going above and above and above by just small increments too.
Right.
So when I put my money in, my extra increment, the auction ended. So I couldn't go any further and what have you. And it's like, I could only guess that the person who was selling it did not like that it didn't get all that far up. And must have canceled it. And as far as I'm aware of, you're not really allowed to do that.
No.
And so once it popped back up, it's like, well, I don't care anymore. I'm not playing this game. I put the amount that I wanted to pay, and if I got it at a steal, I would have gotten it at a steal. But if this person is just going to cancel it on the other person, I automatically go, oh, this probably was the guy who was selling it. Didn't like the price he was getting and got someone to try to push the price up for him And since I didn't win it, and that guy who did the prices up probably didn't want it. He was just doing his friend a favor. And it
Right.
was like, I'm not dealing with it. It
Yeah,
smelled
when something
fishy.
suspicious like that happens.
Yeah. Because it was like there was no one watching it. There was nobody bidding on it for the past 5 days it was up there. I saw it and was like, all right, it's 2 minutes to, whatever, 9 minutes left to it. I'll bid on it, see if there's no one else. And then all of a sudden, someone shows up 3 minutes later, and the bidding war starts, and it's like, that seems a little bit too convenient. And then that person wins it, but it pops up
Doesn't pay
again.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not
I also found out that, remember how I was telling you that some Walking Dead CGC, like 9.4, 9.6s go for low prices? That I'm like, wow, that one for that little? Not 9.8s. There was I think it was issue 5, which is an expensive issue.
Right.
I was looking at like Raw paying around $100, $120 for it, but you hardly ever even see it Raw. And they've got like slabs on there for hundreds and hundreds of dollars of that issue. I saw one slab happened to be auctioned, a 9.8 Walking Dead number 5. And it was at $99 for the whole week. And I went, may as well put a bid on it of 120, just because, I'm like, maybe it'll be one of those ones that goes for low, but I doubt it because it's a 9.8.
Right.
I had reason to doubt it because it was ending in the middle of the night too. So I was like, I don't care if I get it or not. Someone outbids me in the middle of the night. The next morning, of course, I was outbid, but it went for $350.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was like, I guess 9.8s don't accidentally go for cheap anytime, like those 9.6s and 9.4s do.
Right.
And I'm also tempted to buy some, like I've bought CGCs just as conversation pieces before, like the cheap ones.
Right.
And they have some that are so ridiculously cheap sometimes that I'm like, there was this one series that I forget who does it. I always kind of wanted to try it, called Nowhere Man, an indie series from Image. Came out like 10 years ago. I think there were a couple series of them. I can't even remember who did it, but it was one of those series I was like, I should really try that sometime, and never have. But they had like 2 different variants of the cover of issue number 1, 9.8s, for I think like $20 plus $20 shipping. So it's like $40 for 2 9.8 CGCs. I'm like, that is really cheap. I'm like, there's no reason for me to get these. Stop it. You're not getting them. But I was like, I was like, I always wanted to read. Not that I'd even read it if it was, I'm not cracking them out of the slabs. I'll buy it for $4 if I want to read it. I'll buy the trade paperback for $8. Yeah. Like sometimes it's just like, $350 for a Walking Dead comic. Yeah, they've come down in price. But those early Walking Deads are genuinely, they don't have great, huge print runs. Though I still want to know if Jacob Chabot has his first issue. I haven't seen him in so long. I'm gonna have to, because that's the most widely read Walking Dead issue, number 1 ever. Because everyone at Marvel read his first 2 issues. He was the one he had them. He bought them like early on. Like my first issue was issue 3 because I read Jacob's 1 and 2. And said, I'm not paying $20 to get issue 1. That's crazy. Not that I even had an opportunity to buy it for $20. That's what I was going for 3 months in.
You could have made a tidy profit.
Yeah.
If you had bought that at 20.
Let's see, a 1990s. Some number 1s. I got a lot of number 1s here from December 1994. We have got Brooklyn Dreams #1. Glenn L. Barr. We have got Giant Size War Strike #1. Keith Conroy and Terry Austin. We've got X-Men Alpha #1. Joe Madureira and Tim Townsend. We've got something for everything here. We've got Brooklyn Dreams. What is that? Piranha Press or something?
I think so.
A DC pseudo indie comic.
That's already Paradox.
Paradox Press?
Paradox starts in 93, I think.
Mm-hmm. We've got a Malibu comic. And we've got a X-Men comic.
Age of Apocalypse begins.
Yeah. Special shiny cover. That should get the fans all excited.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God! They cut off Wolverine's hand. I have to read it.
Yes. That time you had to.
Look at Tit Goblin is right away. He's got Reed Brooklyn, Rip Godwheel, and Slab the X-Men. Yeah, that X-Men's going to be worth $1 million. That's why you have to Slab.
For a while, that thing was expensive by 1990 standards.
I find it hard to believe that X-Men Alpha #1 was ever expensive.
Wizard says it was, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm almost sure I sold a few of them on eBay not too long, 10 years ago or so, and made some good money.
Oh, okay.
I think I sold it for maybe 30 or 40.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read Brooklyn Dreams because it's J.M. DeMatteis, and I need some more indie J.M. DeMatteis in my life.
I think I may have bought that one.
I remember that cover. I may have gotten that book as well, but I remember nothing of it. Or it was always on the stands for a while.
Yeah.
We always got to see what it looked like.
I think that was also a smaller one, too. It was like paperback size. Let me see if it's in my database. I
agree. I would read Brooklyn Dreams, Slab, X-Men Alpha.
Yeah, let's slab the file cover.
Yeah, Slab the moneymaker. Everyone wants X-Men. And unfortunately, that means Ultraverse Godwheel is going to get ripped.
Who the hell is Godwheel? I think was a crossover.
I believe that was the event that was going on in those books. I don't even remember War Strike as a character.
Yeah, who the hell is that guy?
I think I'm going to read Giant Size War Strike just so I can answer all these unanswered questions.
You're going to love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How much do you bet that it's better? If it's better or worse than Rob Liefeld's Doom's 4?
And I am going to slab Brooklyn Dreams once again, so I'll have the only slabbed Brooklyn Dreams out there.
That's right.
I'm not sure that's the only slab Brooklyn Dreams. I'm pretty sure. I would bet that there are at least 3 people with that thing.
As SBPT says, damn, X-Men Chromium cover, impossible to rip. I'm going to have to try to rip it.
Yeah,
maybe I'll use a big old paper cutter. I'll have to figure out a way.
Yeah, use a box cutter.
You would have to use something for
That's
it.
a tough, Chromium cover's a tough rip.
Yeah, those are, who was it? Deathmate 2000 were unrippable covers. Is what they were trying to say, that it could not be ripped no matter what. It couldn't be ripped, but man, it wasn't going to be a mint condition book anymore.
Somebody look in the CGC census. I have it hard to believe that Brooklyn Dreams has ever been slabbed.
Now, of course, we would replace Wolverine with a dolphin, but with the same uniform. The dolphin would have to have a mechanical cap over one of his fins.
Eric P is going to read Brooklyn Dreams, slab Godwheel, rip X-Men, flamingos on the Brooklyn Dreams. Flamingos fit in well next there. Dolphin, the shadow on the Brooklyn Dreams. The shadow of the dolphin.
Yeah, I'm going to Dolphin Wolverine. Going to ruin the experience for everyone. Let's Dolphin Wolverine. I'm going to put the flamingos also on the X-Men Alpha cover. They're going to be standing on Magneto's flying rock.
I'm going to dolphin whichever character on God Wheel isn't Warstrike. So Warstrike will be looking bad fighting a dolphin. I'll ruin his reputation. Of course, I
think it's the guy with the shoulder pads.
Ah,
because he has shoulder pads.
Because the other guy looks more evil.
Yeah, he looks like a vampire with those weird futuristic sunglasses. Is that what those are? Looks like it.
And I'm going to put the flamingos on the shoulder pads of Warstrike. They got plenty of room for them up there.
Would have the flamingos on the Brooklyn Dreams cover. Just right above, I guess, that rat or werewolf's shadow. But in the middle of the street, kind of looking at the kid.
I have a vague memory of Brooklyn Dreams in those books being over to my right here, but I don't see them. Way up high on a shelf that I never look on.
That's a prestige format, right?
No, I think it's a smaller format. I think it's do you remember the format what was that Tom Hanks movie that won an Oscar that was from a comic book?
Road to Perdition.
Road to
Perdition. I think it was in the same format as Road to Perdition.
Well, yeah, it was a Paradox Press graphic novel.
Yeah, so that was like a smaller, like paperback book format almost. I don't know if I ever got rid of those or tucked them away somewhere. It was
They're
kind
off
of
format.
Here we go. It was kind of like this size, which is here. Let me show you.
Oh yeah, 5 1/4 by 8.
Yeah, I think it was around this. There's a regular comic book, and there's Too Cool to Be Forgotten. So I think it was around that size. All those books were. And they weren't hardcover; they were soft cover.
Right, 100 pages. Yeah, you're gonna. If somebody wanted to rip that, it's gonna have a hard time doing it.
Yeah, but I'll have the only slabbed one.
Yeah, it's not in the CGC census.
Yeah. Let me show you a few more of the comics. Well, actually, what did I get? I think I only got 2 of them left. Showed you all that. We have the second of 3 issues of J. Lee art. This Ends Tonight. Written by 3 people. Jerry Duggan, Kevin Mao, Robert Wyndham. And this whole thing is just an excuse for Jay Lee to draw pretty women. I don't know if this is even related to the first issue. It's got sort of the same theme. There's this gang of girl assassins. And the one of them has a sister who doesn't know her sister is in a group of girl assassins, and she's getting married, so this is her bachelorette party night, and they're in Vegas or something, and a whole bunch of bounty hunters come out to kill all the lady assassins, and they have to fight off all of the bounty hunters while not tipping off the bride-to-be that her sister's in a gang of lady assassins. It's the stupidest story in the world. But the Jay Lee art and storytelling is fun. He's doing a lot of interesting things, with the crazy shattered panels and stuff. So it's only 3 issues, and it's purely for the Jay Lee art because there's not much. I think the first issue, the story was nearly identical, but I don't think the stories are related. It's weird. I don't know what the general idea behind this book is, story-wise. It's very, very odd. Okay. Anyone pick up or look at Space Opera Zandex Across the Unknown World? I was just about to show it. This is Space Opera Xanadax Across the Unknown Dimensions of the Galaxy by Tom Scioli. And whoops, that's the wrong guy. Tom Scioli. I just felt like he's the one who just did What Did Wilson and I Buy? Godzilla Monster Piece Theater.
Yes.
He's that guy.
And
he has done.
I would have bought that.
Something Grand Design. Which one? Fantastic Four Grand Design. GoBots. He's kind of. They describe him here as a. Tom Scioli in the solo creator auteur tradition. That's a tradition I like.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? And as I said, it's $20, original graphic novel. I was like, all right, I'll get it. Oh, it looks like it's got some in process stuff here. What does it say? Enter the strange new universe of space opera Xanadex across the unknown dimensions of the galaxy. A supercharged, cybernetically enhanced, brooding loner known only as Xanadex is on a collision course with the kill-crazy cosmic enemy #1, an armada of ruthless space pirates, slimy crime bosses, deadly bounty hunters, an oppressive star-spanning empire, and an army of homicidal robots. I'm thinking this is just Tom Scioli having some fun.
Yeah.
Putting his hero against just about everything. Yeah, Eric P. says Tom Scioli has become an auto buy for me. Yeah. I know what you mean. There was something I bought by him that I didn't like. I don't even remember what it was, but I bought Godzilla Monster Piece Theater by him and this. So if he gets something in the future. SBPT says, I bought an adorable Usagi Yojimbo Chibi book this week. Didn't know it existed. There's a QR code for a free Usagi video game. Oh, cool. That might be... His daughter has been doing little backups of Chibi Usagi. And they only appear occasionally. They're usually 3 to 4 stories. It might be collecting all of those. Or it might be new. I don't know. But his daughter has been doing some Chibi Usagi stuff. I got to load up some new Reed Rippin slabs. Let me see here. Get rid of December. What do we got here? Let's get another 60s. Another 70s, another 80s, another 90s. Put a label on them so I know I just picked them. Let's go back to the 60s. 1963, July, Weird Places. All right. There we go. Unusual Tales number 41, Bill Montez and Eric Bacci. Adventure into the Unknown 143, Ogden Whitney. Idaho number 2, Tom Ryan. Idaho is one of the weird places. I amused myself with that one, didn't I?
I know nothing of these books. And
Ogden Whitney is the guy
Ogden Whitney is the only name I recognize.
He did Herbie, right? That was him?
I believe so.
This is ACG. This is an ACG comic. Which means that you'll find 6 different writers credited inside, but it's always the same guy. Which is the exact opposite of Stan Lee, where everybody wrote things and he signed it.
Tit Goblin, of course, immediately knows what he's going to do. Read Unknown, Rip Tales, and Slab, Idaho. Oh, that's the art is from his wife and the colors from his daughter. Script by Stan. It might be those reprints plus some extra stories. Okay. Oh, his wife does the art in those chibis. All right. I did not know that. That Idaho's got a nice cover.
Yeah.
It is a nice cover.
I was going to read it, but I'm going to read Unusual Tales. That's Charlton, right? Yeah. I'm going to read Unusual Tales and rip Adventures into the Unknown and Slab, Idaho, because that's a great cover. That thing would have sold as a poster.
Yeah.
It looks like a movie poster.
My curiosity wants me to read Adventures into the Unknown. And I think I would Slab Unusual Tales. Even though Idaho is a really good cover to Slab. I think Unusual Tales would work better. Which unfortunately means I rip Idaho. And I'm going to dolphin the guy on the cover Adventures into the Unknown, since these other characters are holding them. So we're going to have to replace him with a dolphin because he can't have characters touching each other. And I think I would put the flamingos on the spaceship on the cover of the Unusual Tales, right behind the main astronaut.
I'm going to dolphin the main space Roman on the left, yeah. And the flamingos I'm going to put on the guy's shoulders in Adventures into the Unknown.
Let's see. Eric P is going to read Unusual Tales, Slab, Idaho, and rip Adventures into the Unknown. Dolphin, the green woman on the covered adventure. Flamingos on the Unusual Tales spaceship. Oh, there's a nice spot for them. I think I'm going to read Idaho. That one makes me want to read it the most, I think. What happened to that cowboy? Why does he look all injured? Did he win the fight? Is he trying to get away from the fight? Even his horse looks a little hangdog there. I mean, does his horse have any energy left to get him out of there?
Yeah.
Thumbs up the vid if you like, please, says Missing Mars. There you go. I'm going to Slab Unusual Tales, read Idaho, which means I'm going to have to rip Adventures into the Unknown, which I would like to have read, but oh well. Can't read them all. Can only read one of them. And let's see. I'm not gonna dolphin the horse like Tit Goblin. I'm gonna dolphin the rider.
Ah.
Then I'm going to put one flamingo each on the shoulders of those yellow people and unknown. So they'll be talking to each other across their heads. Hey, dude, where are we taking this guy? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to read the story and see.
Ripping tales of suspense.
Jared, there's one thing you have to remember with Dell Comics. They have great covers and the sickiest insides.
Well, they suckered me with this one. They did. I might be incredibly disappointed. But that cover is making me go.
Let me put it to you this way. It has Vinnie Coletta inks.
Oh. Well, you know, when Vinnie Coletta wasn't hacking out an entire book over the weekend, he could be solid. Let's see what he was doing if he was inking this and an issue of Thor over this weekend. Slab, Idaho, Rip Unusual, Read Adventures. And then SBPT is going to flamingo the horse's head, and I will have the only slab of Idaho #2 with flamingos. Flamingos.
Let's see what that Unusual Tales has inside. So this Billmont has an Ernie Bacci. So Rocky Mastro stereo art in one story, Charles Nicholas in another, Bill Molno, more Charles Nicholas. Yeah, these were the guys that left Marvel in 1950. They were working for Charlton.
Ah. All three of those covers are nice. How much will a copy of Idaho #2 cost us? I wonder if any of those are available on mycomicshop.com.
I couldn't see that book going more for $4.
I've
I bet
never
you
even
can find it in the 50-cent bins.
Eric P says if all three were combined, we might get Unusual Adventures into Idaho. There you go.
My comic shop says $4.
$4, not bad.
Look at that! I hit it right on the head.
And it's very good.
I'll have to get myself a copy with my next order. Idaho #2. Whenever that's going to be.
How much is the Unusual Tales?
Yep, Eric P said Idaho #2, Dale on my comic shop for $4. A solid price for a solid cover. I have certainly bought new comics for $4 just because I liked the cover. Why not some old ones too?
They don't have the Unusual Tales, but it's going for $15 on eBay.
Yeah, because Ogden Whitney is pretty well known. So
no, Unusual Tales, not Adventures into the Unknown. Nobody cares about ACG.
Okay. Unusual Tales. That's a nice cover on that Unusual Tales.
Yeah.
No doubt. I've never heard of Bill Montez or Eric Beishy before.
Ernie Bocci used to be Dick Ayers' assistant in the mid-50s.
Ah. Some nice comics. Want to show us the rest of your stuff you got there?
So the last one from my pull list is Godzilla, Here There Be Aliens. A nice cover with Godzilla and Jet Jaguar on there.
Fred Thierry.
Yeah, he's been writing quite a few Godzilla books lately.
Yeah. He did those Here There Be Monsters ones. That was
yeah, Here There Be Dragons.
Here There Be Dragons. That got him more Godzilla books.
And those are from my pull list. And then what I grabbed off the shelves is Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. Issue
that's
number
the one
2.
That's the one there's a few issues of. It's going to be a mini, right?
Yes. So you have a bunch of one-shots of Godzilla versus each of the superheroes, and then you have this one that's the ongoing where Godzilla destroys the Marvel Universe. And this is the cover that I happened to pick because I liked the way it looked, but there was another cover where it looks like he's being possessed by the symbiote. And then independent book here that I picked up last time. So this is issue 2 of Detective Kaiju.
Yes.
Which the previous issue was a lot of fun because not too sure exactly what's going on, because this detective character that you follow, who is a kaiju, has dreams of being a giant kaiju, and then other times he's just a regular size person who looks like a kaiju, who's a detective, and then he may be an actor in kaiju movies or he may not be. So it's just still, we're not too sure what is going on with this character. So it's fun.
Cool.
And that's the last one that I got from the comic book shop, or picked up from the rack.
Here's a Godzilla question. Let's say you were a Godzilla completist. Over the last, let's say, 5 years, how many comics do you think you'd have?
Quite a bit. You think about the fact that he's crossed over with Power Rangers at least twice.
He's got lots of crossovers.
He has tons of crossovers, and then he has his own books in IDW.
Right. A lot of them, too. There's lots of different miniseries.
There's a lot of
How many issues of Godzilla a year do you think come out? Let's start with a year. We can always multiply from there. Are there at least 2 a month?
There's at least 2 titles a month. And that's not even talking about like Mothra's been getting her own book.
Okay.
And not necessarily has Godzilla in it. She has a miniseries. You have the one-shots of the other Godzilla characters.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about them.
So you have those. So his own title, which is I think was King of the Monster, which was an ongoing for a short while. They kind of mutate into miniseries.
Right.
So, I think there's at least a Godzilla project a month.
Right.
From IDW alone. At least from all the miniseries, there's always something.
If not 2 Godzilla books a month.
It's I think a Godzilla book and a Godzilla related title.
Godzilla related. Like you're a completist, you're getting the Godzilla relateds too.
Right. So I'm completist.
So there's 24 books a year just from IDW.
Just from IDW alone. The Monsterverse stuff, which is more connected to the movie stuff, once a year, at least, maybe 2 covers. If you're a completist on alternate covers.
We won't worry about alternate covers. That's way too confusing.
Right. So there's at least 1 graphic novel a year from the Monsterverse. And again, because it's the anniversary, you have the crossovers. Right. So with Power Rangers, at least the first one was 4 issues. I think the second one was 4 issues. Over at the DC universe, it's the Monsterverse characters. Those were at least 4 issues on that. The Marvel stuff, you have the 4 issues ongoing, and then the individual stuff that's been happening. So that's at least 5 that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And not even including Godzilla versus America.
Yeah.
Which is per city.
Right. That's all the city.
And I don't know how many cities that he's going to. There's at least
done
4
so far.
4
this
so
year,
far.
I think.
There are 4 so far.
So we're looking at it probably maybe 50 Godzilla comics in the last year.
At least, yeah.
At least 50. So over a 5-year period, you probably have a couple of long boxes full of Godzilla comics if you were buying them all.
Yeah.
That'd be, 300 comics or so. Yeah, there's a lot more Godzilla. It's like one of those comics I see issues like different series all the time, but I've never thought of them all like in one place in a collection.
Right. Because I know I have at least a short box full of Godzilla.
Ah, okay.
And if we take a look at the IDW catalog, you can get a quick understanding. Because for a while, IDW wasn't really putting out all that much other than Ninja Turtles and Godzilla. So let's see. We do a quick look. Just the IDW catalog itself. A lot of it is Ninja Turtles. Event Horizon is getting a series. 30 Days and 30 Nights, Beneath the Trees. They have the Star Trek books. All right, so Godzilla. So the ongoing series that they currently have is just called Godzilla, the Keisai Era. And that has 4 covers. But that's issue number 3. So that's the current ongoing series.
Okay.
And the Keisai Era just means that's that comic book continuity that IDW has created. This has a poster. All right. Godzilla story continues up to at least issue 4. Then you have a mini series called Godzilla Escapes the Dead Zone.
All right. I forgot about that one already.
So we have that one.
Had a nice cover on issue number 1. I liked that cover.
Yep. Godzilla versus America, which is the next ongoing series, but they're called one shots because they're 48 pages, $7.99, And the city that's coming up next is Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
That has 3 covers. Godzilla, If They Be Aliens, that's up to issue 5. So I don't know if that's going to be an ongoing, but most likely their B stuff has been miniseries.
Yeah.
And then it goes to Street Shark. So for this particular month from IDW, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 main Godzilla titles where it's just Godzilla.
Yeah.
The catalog, we haven't popped into any of the other monsters.
That is a lot of Godzilla comics.
Yes, for that month alone, we have 4 Godzilla titles. That's it. There's no other monsters currently, at least for the month of August.
So you could probably buy a Godzilla title a week.
Probably.
That's a lot of Godzillas. And alternate covers. I don't know how anyone can collect books like Red Sonja and Vampirella have so many alternate covers. I'm like, how can anyone, if you were to collect like Red Sonja, you liked Red Sonja, you wanted to collect every covers, that would be like 8 or 10 comics a month.
Yeah.
Like you could be overwhelmed with Red Sonja comics.
Completely.
Yeah.
And from what I've been seeing, what people do collect, there's some people that doesn't care about the interior.
No.
They may want a particular person's cover.
Right.
Like we always grab Chris Giarrusso stuff.
Right.
No matter what book he might be working on.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing happens with like Red Sonja, where you have someone that just collects the photo covers.
Right. I know there's one guy at the shop who gets the cosplay covers, I think.
Yes. There's that community. You have people who only collect the Scotty Young covers.
Right.
Doesn't matter what book is up.
There is one guy who keeps our shop in business who collects. He gets one copy of every single comic each month from every company.
Yeah, and there are people that's been like that since always in comics.
Yeah.
That I have noticed that, in the few comic book shops that I worked in or had conversations, a lot of them always had one customer who came in and got one of everything.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a warehouse or something. Godzilla's 71 this year, says 62 Lefty Blues.
Yep.
Which means we're 4 years away from 75. Whoa.
Yeah.
Blackout world. Donald Rex, I only buy 2 to 3 new titles a month. I spend my money on back issues. Got 5 70s Betty and Veronica today. All right. Eric P., I do get various alt covers, but I can't think of any book that would get more than one copy of the same issue with a different cover. Yeah. I mean, I usually pick if I can, I pick my favorite cover. Or if I see a new comic I haven't read and it's got a good cover, I might. But can you imagine collecting like every variant cover from your favorite comic? It'd be like crazy.
It's hard. It's expensive. They've got me a few times, like the Power Ranger covers with the helmets. It's like,
right.
I kind of want all the helmets.
Right,
because again, there are specialty covers that kind of grabs you. Like the covers with, DC had all those heads for one point.
Mm-hmm.
Where Scummy drew that Deadpool cover that says, "Hey, my head."
Yeah.
The 25th anniversary for Marvel covers. I thought that was a neat little sub collection of trying to get all those covers. I know people who will collect the homage covers of McFarlane's Spider-Man across
or people
different
who collected those
companies.
Alice Ross head covers.
Yes. So you have those as well. Or they might pick a theme.
Man, they can chew up a chunk of space for just covers. Let's see. Let's go on to the 70s now. And 1976 March team-up books.
March 76.
We've got Brave and the Bold 127, Jim Aparo. Marvel Team-Up 46, Buckler and Espo. 2-in-1 16, Ron Wilson and Frank Giacoia.
All great characters created by Roy Thomas.
Ain't that the truth? There was a facsimile edition of Astro City #2 with different covers. I might get a couple. I think I had that Brave and Bold at one time. That team up is from my favorite run of Marvel Team Up. I don't think I've ever had that Marvel 2-in-1, but I'm not 100% sure. My Marvel 2-in-1 collection was spotty below 20.
I only ever read trade paperbacks in the 2-in-1.
Or Tit Goblin immediately knows. Read Batman, Rip Thing, Slab Marvel Team Up.
I'm going to read Spider-Man. Read Slab Rip in the Bold, and Rip 2-in-1.
That Spider-Man Deathlock issue. Spidey went to the future, right, to have that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so I did read it, so I'm going to slab that.
Is that the first time Deathlock appeared after Astonishing Tales?
Maybe.
I think it might be.
Yes.
Because he also appeared in the 2-in-1s.
I think there's still 1 or 2 issues of Astonishing, of Marvel Marvel. Which one was it? Spotlight Premiere.
I think it was Spotlight. It was. I think it was Marvel Spotlight.
I would slab Team Up. I would read 2-in-1 because I do like. I like the Things books. It was a lot of fun. So unfortunately, that means Brave and the Bold gets ripped up right between the Batman logo and the Wildcat logo.
Tit Goblin is on a roll. Mind Reader says 62 Lefty Blues. And SBPT says, looking forward to the Curse of Shirley. Frank Miller cover, inked by Todd. Daniel Enriquez made this happen. I haven't seen any images of that yet. Eric P is going to read Marvel Team Up, slab Marvel 2-in-1, Rip Brave and the Bold, Dinosaur the Thing, that the Thing is punching. Flamingos on the top banner and the top of the Brave and the Bold. All right.
The Flamingos I'm going to put on the Marvel Team Up cover because, they're usually on a destruction cover. So a destroyed world, I'll have them right next to I guess those are cavemen chanting in the background. I think that put the Flamingos right in front of them watching Spider-Man and Deathlock go at it. And I think I would replace Batman with the Dolphin. The Dolphin's in danger this time.
Yeah.
I'm going to Dolphin Zabu. And I'm going to put the Flamingos with the gangsters watching Batman.
I think I'm going to Dolphin Deathlock because I want him with that laser gun trying to shoot Spider-Man. SBPT says, rip Batman always. Slab the Thing and read Deathlock. I think I'm going to slab Bat. I don't find any of these 3 covers particularly attractive, which usually helps me in deciding which to slab. But so I'm going to, out of purely mercenary motivation, I'm going to slab Batman and hope I get a 9.8 and have a Batman 9.8. Woohoo! I can sell it for millions. And though it's one of my favorites, I'm going to rip up Marvel Team Up because I want to read that thing in Khazar. And I think I'm going to put the flamingos can go way back on that mountain there in The Brave and the Bold. Or they can go somewhere in the background of the apocalypse. I think I like them in the apocalypse better. So I want to put them in the very background of Spider-Man and Deathlock. They'll be hanging out in the apocalypse.
Yeah, I think they fit in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Is that a mountain or is that water? Are they on a ship? On Brave and the Bold.
Oh,
I'm not too sure if that's a mountain.
That might be water. You're right.
Water. It's hard to tell.
I think it might be a wave coming up over a ship.
Yeah, I like the red of that background though too.
Yeah, why is red skies at night? And what exactly is Spider-Man sticking to?
I think he's jumping.
Because he's almost in that Spider-Man I'm on the wall pose.
Right. Yeah, but there's no wall.
There's no wall behind him. There was a wall there, and then he got flung into the future, maybe.
The Brave and the Bold. This was probably right around when I started collecting. Because this was, I think this was right around 1976, March was, I consider myself being I read comics before this, but I don't read them. It's with Hulk 200, which came out probably, I don't know if it came, I think it came out a couple months later, maybe. But this is a 9-year-old Jared reading these ones. Though I probably didn't get that team up off the stands. I got it later. And I also probably someone gave me that Batman Wildcat. It's like all the Batmans I had, someone gave me until I started buying in the early 80s. I started buying DC stuff. Before that, all the DC stuff was given to me. By who? I don't know. People go, here, you like comics? Here's a few comics. And I'd be like, cool. That's how it used to go.
Yeah, plenty of times where I had someone go, "Oh, you like comics? Here's some books."
Yeah,
that's how I read. I think the first What If, and because it was, because I was a fan of Spider-Man, the guy was like, "Oh, here's some Spider-Man comics," and the first one was What If Spider-Man's clone has lived, and it was a great cover, and it had a side story of the Inhumans, I think.
I remember when What If #1 came out, What If Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four?
Mm-hmm.
That was the greatest thing ever. Because it's like, there weren't a ton of #1s, and there certainly weren't any #1s that were Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. A whole new concept, a whole new series. It's like, whoa. Everybody got that one. Those comics were all over the place. I forget what year that came out. Probably like 76, 77, somewhere around.
I think it was 76.
It was like, whoa, #1, Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. Whoa. It was the hottest book with the kids in my neighborhood. And it was also, double-sized. Whoa, there's so many woes going on with it.
Oh, yeah.
The comic itself, though, was just That was the problem. There were so many woes. But then you read it's like, but whoa, it's still cool.
I do miss those days, like looking at the comic rack and people freaking out about something that they see on it. Oh,
whoa.
I remember one with Wolverine issue with the power pack, and Wolverine is holding Kate Power and he's ready to stab into her. And I remember going to the shop and just looking on the rack, and this one kid was like, "Oh my God, Wolverine lost his mind. He's going to kill her." And he just grabbed the issue and walked away. It's like, to have that kind of reaction.
There's still people chasing that reaction.
Oh, yeah.
As we've discussed before. Wishing they were 10 years old again.
Mm-hmm.
Wondering why comics don't make them feel like that anymore. It's like, you're not 10. That's why I know.
That's one of the big reasons.
That one's pretty obvious. Whoa! One of the greatest woes was what issue of the X-Men was that when Wolverine turns around in the sewer?
Oh, X-Men
130.
130?
132.
132? Now it's your turn, bub.
Uh-huh.
That was one of the greatest woes ever. Whoa!
That was my first X-Men.
Whoa! You probably didn't even go whoa because you weren't used to it.
Yeah, but yeah, it was. Here's the thing: seeing John Byrne, Terry Austin for the first time does make an impression. So you kind of understood that the stakes were high.
You understood you were supposed to go whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I mean that comic. So it had that comic for me was an introduction to both George Perez and John Byrne because it had the first part of the Black Widow story from Marvel Fanfare.
Nice combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it had a Master of Kung Fu. Can't remember if it was still Mike Zeck because I also had the Captain America, the first appearance of Vermin, which also had Mike Zeck. And the last story was one of the Red Sonjas. The one that Roy Thomas stole from Pernoto.
Another character Roy created. Let's see, SBPT says, my first comic was a Brazilian translation of Alpha Flight number 13. Someone left it in the garbage bin outside my school. I was 7 at the time. Gave me nightmares for months.
Alpha Flight number 13, half of the story appears in a special that they put out with Guardian's Death. It was only Alpha Flight stories, and it's the whole storyline. They move to New York, and then they find out it was all a trap, and then Ether opens the door, and and Mac explodes.
Huh. Let me show you another production error comic that Tit Goblin sent me. No, I don't want that. I want this down here. This one, not quite as complicated. It's a Spidey issue where the foil isn't in place. But it led me to realize I've never seen this foil process.
So this is Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 200. The cover is by Sal Buscema. I think this is the death of the next Green Goblin. And yeah, they all had the foil covers at the time. So it looks like the plate shifted on the foil portion itself.
But here's what I didn't realize. I never thought about it before. Is that the foil must be die cut first. And then it has to be matched up. Because the foil isn't an ink, it's a paper.
Right.
And I always thought that maybe
I think the foil might be the last thing to go on.
The ink is printed on the foil, right?
I think it's actually. It looks like the foil gets put on last from that era.
Yeah, that's what it looks like from this, right?
Yeah, because I've seen foil covers without the foils. Venom is like that, where there was misprints of those, where the foil did not get onto the cover. So I think the foils are glued in last or printed on there last because of, whatever the process is. So they would be basically wherever the foil goes would be white, right. I'm guessing. And And that's only because of seeing those foil covers with Venom #1.
Now, hold on. I'm trying to picture this now. So you've got a solid sheet of foil. Now, there's two ways they can do that. You just said it went on. They could, if the foil went down, you could print right over the foil.
Right.
But then the ink would have to be opaque. So you
yeah, and the ink may not stick to the foil.
Right.
So they might have had to put it on the cover first. So everything's printed on the cover. Then the foil is added later as a die cut.
So the foil would have to be die cut.
Right. And
I never thought of that before.
Yeah, it would be die cut, and maybe it would be definitely stronger than, let's say, something like gold leaf.
Right. That wouldn't work.
Yeah, gold leaf wouldn't work, but it would probably be something similar. So yeah, I would. I'm
gonna have to peel a foil cover.
Yeah.
So it'll go paper, ink, and then foil, and you'd have to die cut the foil out around the figures and put the foil on last.
Yeah. As the fifth color.
As the fifth color.
Yeah.
But it's not a color. It's not an ink. It's actual foil that has to be die cut. Right. Weird. Yeah, I never thought of that before. Because I always think about the ink being put over the foil paper, which, like I said, I think some might be done that way, but you wouldn't get this kind of color.
Right.
And obviously this one wasn't done that way because the foil shifted. Or you could, like I said, put the cut foil down first and then print over it. But like you said, you've seen it without its foil, so you know the foil went on last, at least on that Venom.
Yeah.
Get me production errors of Spider-Man.
Yes.
Goblin. Let's see, not that one, Paolo. Is the Guardian's funeral with a flaming zombie guardian chasing Heather and Logan.
That's at the end of the issue. Because the comic starts with Delphine Courtney inviting Roger Box to join Omega Flight. Then they all go to New York, and the Guardian dies. And the last few pages are Heather dreaming with the flaming zombie skeleton of Guardian attacking her in the dream. And then Heather and Shaman go to Department H to figure out what Gary Cody can do for them, which is nothing, because they don't exist anymore.
Let's go back into the 80s. June 1984. Made me love Alpha Flight till today.
John Burton's Alpha Flight was a very good story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
People should make fun of Alpha Flight. Remember that thing? That thing sold like hotcakes. Sold like hotcakes, you know.
There we go. We got Detective Comics 542, Paris Cullins and Dick Giordano. Bernie Wrightson, Master of the Macabre, #4. And The Incredible Hulk, #299, Frank Sirocco. All from June 1984. Oh, that's when I graduated high school.
Almost sure I've had Bernie Wrightson books from that title, but not that particular issue.
I might have issue 1 of that. I have to check my database now. See what I have.
I'm going to read Hulk. That's the last issue before the Hulk gets sent into the Crossroads.
I do have that Bernie Wrightson. I have 1, 4, and 5 of that series.
Ah, nice. I don't think I have that Hulk.
I guess in issue 200, he goes into the Crossroads.
Yeah.
I think I was still buying Hulk at this time. I may have bought it till issue 300.
Interesting choice to have Frank Scirocco draw a cover, because it didn't usually work on corporate stuff.
Yeah. Tit Goblin, of course, is right away with Reed Hulk, Rip Batman, and Slab Bernie.
Mike Mignola was doing the art inside.
Okay.
I'm going to slab Wrightson, and I'm going to rip Detective Comics, because what kind of a face is that on Dick?
That is a weird cover. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Tit Goblin says, I was looking at that Hulk a few days ago.
I'm going to read the Hulk. I'm going to slab Bernie. And unfortunately, that means I'm going to have to rip the Batman cover straight down the center to separate Batman and Robin and Bruce and Dick. Right down that center. The flamingos have to go on that Hulk cover. They need to witness that.
They'll be floating in the void.
Yes. And I think I would replace the mummy on the Bernie Wrightson cover with a dolphin. I want to see a Bernie Wrightson dolphin.
We don't want to scare those children.
Yeah. I'm going to dolphin Bruce. And the flamingos go on the Hulk cover. On this side of the fence, looking up of the mystical. That's what's the thing that Doctor Strange calls the shield of the seraphim. Yeah, so the flamingos are behind the shield, looking up.
They can look like the mindless ones. Let's see. Eric P is going to read Detective, Slab Wrightson, Rip Hulk, right between the Hulk and Strange, Dolphin Dick Grayson on Detective Flamingos. I was thinking about that too. Watching Hulk and Strange, the Flamingos. Let's see. SBBT, read Bernie, Slab Hulk, rip that pedo bear Batman. Let's see. I'm going to dolphin Doctor Strange. The Hulk is going to be breaking through the mystical dolphin's shields. I think I'll still have that collar on him. So it'll be a dolphin with the, what is that? The cloak of levitation.
What? Dick Grayson looks like James Cagney there.
The flamingos are going to go on Bruce's shoulder, watching that tender moment, because they're very sensitive. They like a nice tender moment.
They're very sensitive to who the hell drew that face on the kid.
I'm going to slab that Batman cover because it's so ridiculous. And I'll read Bernie Wrightson and rip the Hulk. And I can read that Bernie Wrightson tonight because it's over on my shelf somewhere. Let's get one more 90s one in before we go. Since it's an extravaganza, let's see. October 1993.
October 93.
We've got X-O-Man Award 24, Jim Calafiore. Kid Eternity number 8, Sean Phillips. And Prime number 5, Norm Brayfogle.
Read Exo, Slab Kid Eternity, Rip Prime.
You're trying to get in before Tit Goblin, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
I think I probably.
But it's an easy choice.
Eric P says that Detective is pure seduction of innocent fodder. Jim Calafiore used to play touch football with him in the Marvel Wizard touch football games.
I absolutely love Jim Calafiore's art. I think it's criminal that he's not more famous.
Uh-huh.
I think I would read Kid Eternity. I'll slab Exo Man of War and rip Prime.
I'm going to read that Prime because I've never read Prime.
That Kid Eternity is written by Ann Nacini, I think.
Oh, maybe there's a devil disguised as a hot woman in there.
Yeah, but it's a Vertigo comic. Here it makes sense.
I'm going to slab Kid Eternity because I think that I like that cover best. And I'm a Sean Phillips fan, which means I'm going to have to rip Exo Man of War right down the middle of his face on the diagonal.
I would put the dolphin. I'm going to replace. I'm guessing that's Kid Eternity that's on that cover.
Yeah.
Tit Goblin agrees with Pala.
Replace him with a dolphin. And I'm going to put the flamingos on the Exo Man of War cover. And they're all just squished up together.
Okay, if you're going to dolphin Kid Eternity, are you going to have, because I notice here, his face is regular, and then his clothes/body are negative space. So how are you going to have the dolphin's head regular? And
yes, because I want the dolphin's head to be regular, have those glasses.
Ah.
And then the rest of him is glowing.
If Tit Goblin had the money and space, he would buy every Vertigo cover. I say collect them digitally.
I am going to dolphin whoever the guy is that's fighting Prime.
I'm going to dolphin Exo Man of War. You have a big dolphin face in that helmet, gritting its teeth.
Mm-hmm. And the flamingos are going to stand on Kid Eternity's ass.
Eric P is going to read Kid Eternity, slab Exo, rip Prime, dolphin, the woman on the bottom of Prime, and flamingos on the wire in Kid Eternity. Oh, look at that. There's a wire. I'm going to put the dolphins once again. One flamingos, one flamingo each is going to be standing on those Exo Man of War cheekbone armor plates. I think they can fit right there. If we shrink them down, because his head's so big, one like right under each eye. And they can talk to each other across the bridge of his nose. Prime. I don't think I've ever read an issue of Prime. How many issues did Prime go?
I have no idea.
I want to say 24 before they went into the weird renumbering and Marvel buying the series. I'm not too sure how many issues. Prime was a weird one. It was a mixture of Shazam and body horror type thing, because the kid would turn into this powerhouse man that it was still with the kid's mind. And then when he would turn back, the body itself would just like fall off of him. And it would be like this just, again, body horror. It was just a slimy thing that would come right off the kid. And eventually someone took one of those extra bodies, sewed it up, and made it into kind of like a Bizarro Prime. So it had some weird stuff to it. So it made it interesting, because it wasn't just, he would turn into this guy and the guy would disappear. He would turn into this guy and then the body would just slide off of him.
That is strange. Let's see. Tit Goblin says, I need my covers physical art for some reason. I love flipping through physical comic books. But I'm okay with collecting like cover art digitally because it's just I don't need more comic books, and they look so good on the iPad. Did you guys get to look through any of that PDF I put of the? What was that I posted on Facebook for you?
The
Forbidden
covers,
Worlds?
Planet Comics.
Planet Comics. Did you get to look through the PDF of that at all?
A few in the beginning.
Yeah, I had opened it to see that it worked, and then I haven't gone back to it since.
Yeah, there's a lot of good a lot of good covers in there. So
yeah, what I've been doing, I was reading Janet Jackson's posting on Jim Shooter's website.
That was good.
Yeah.
I also read the interview with Janet Jackson on 4-Color Comics blog. There's an interview with Janet Jackson that's pretty good about her career. But yeah, the Shooter stuff she's posting is interesting.
Yeah, I think she's done. And now that she's done, I'm kind of glad that Shooter didn't write the book, because it was quite obvious he was angry at the time. And the whole book was just going to be him slagging on all the people who wronged him. And even if he was kind of right, it wasn't constructive. You weren't going to learn anything.
Right. Except who the villains are. That's all you were going to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, eventually we got it, because during the internet age, when the internet age began, and comic book resources was still talking about comics, they did that extremely large interview back in the year 2000.
Janet Jackson, Michael's sister? Nope.
Not that one.
Janet Jackson, artist. And I knew her from, I don't know if she was dating Jim Salicrup, but she was always hanging out with him. So that's where I knew her from in the 90s. And she said in the interview she used to go clubbing with Jim Salicrup a lot in the early 80s. I always assumed they were romantically involved, but I never really knew.
I have no idea.
I like Shooter's story about Janet coming up with the storyline for the charity comic that they were going to do, and then some Marvel executive invites some charity corporation, and the guy just struts in and tells them not to do the comic because comics are ridiculous, and they're making fun of the poor or whatever.
Well, we should wrap it up and let Paolo get to bed. Some balloons. All right. We'll be on Paolo's channel next week.
Yeah.
Our Reed, Rip, and Slab extravaganza is over. Lots of 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I didn't go back to the 40s and 50s tonight.
Now we'll do something special about the 40s and 50s another day.
Yeah.
The golden age, Reed, Rip, and Slab.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We can do that.
Plenty of romance comics and funny animals.
Oh, yeah. And so many Stromberg covers.
Yep. So everybody have a good week out there. We'll catch you next time.
Lasers.
Take care. Have a good weekend.
Babaloons. End stream.